Okay, Dad, what are we talking about today?
I don't know, you tell me.
We're talking about the kindest characters in children's fiction.
Awesome.
I thought it would be cool since we were talking about books in one of the
We
earlier
did.
podcasts.
We did talk about books in the earlier podcast. And there's got to be some really kind characters in fiction, mustn't there?
Yeah.
So, you've thought about this and you've got a list of really kind characters.
Yes.
Is Voldemort on the list?
No, but there is some Harry Potter characters on there.
Okay, come on.
Okay, so quite a few. Grandpa Joe from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Okay, so if you remember Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Grandpa Joe was obviously Charlie's grandfather.
Yeah.
And he was quite a kind character because he was always encouraging Charlie to do what he wanted and do what he believed in.
Yeah.
Like,
He was a bit lazy, Grandpa Joe. I mean, he didn't get out of bed, did he?
he couldn't get out of bed. He was pretty much...
He jumped out of bed when he got the golden ticket. I mean, literally, there was no stopping him when he had
but
that.
he was told, don't get up, don't get up. But he jumped out of bed so he could help
Charlie.
Okay. So that's why he's a kind character.
Okay, that's fair.
Albus Dumbledore.
Dumbledore's an awesome character, isn't he?
Dumbledore's an awesome character.
Quite mysterious as a kind character.
Yeah, but obviously he helped Harry. He knew Harry's parents. He gave Harry to the family that he thought would be kindest to him.
But
Honestly, wasn't a very good choice, but he tried. So it's not that counts.
He's kind, just not always the best decision maker in the world.
He even sacrificed his own life so that Harry and the rest of the team could defeat Voldemort.
Now, please, no spoilers on that because I still haven't seen the last 3 Harry Potter films. So
Really?
no, and I'm only like halfway through Game of Thrones as well. So no Game of Thrones spoilers. Who's next?
Lucy Pevensey from
Okay.
The Chronicles of Narnia. So if you remember in the first...
You mean The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe?
Yes.
Okay, that's fine.
So remember, she came through the wardrobe and she met this creature.
Yeah.
And she befriended it. And actually, she was quite young. But obviously she was really kind. Like, she would talk to anyone she met. She tried to help other forest creatures even though she was not strong herself. She tried her best to help everyone, including the lion. Aslan, I think his name was.
Aslan, yeah.
I think out of all her siblings, she was one of the kindest. Like, her brothers were warriors. Her sister was a warrior, but she was
a nurturer.
She was a nurturer, yeah.
Who was the boy? It's been years since I read The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe. But who was the boy who the Snow Queen lured with Turkish delight?
Oh, I don't remember.
I can't remember. But there was a bit where a child was lured with chocolates.
Yeah, it was the younger brother.
It was.
He was older than her, but he was the younger of the two brothers.
Okay.
I was hoping you could talk about this one. You've read the book. To Kill a Mockingbird.
So, who's the character they...
Boo Radley.
Okay. I remember the character of Boo Radley, but To Kill a Mockingbird is one of my favourite novels.
Yes, which is why I was hoping you could talk
and
about it.
it's full of humour. Actually, it's full of tragedy. And if we ever get round to a question of the podcast about one of the most inspiring books, it's one of the most inspiring books I've ever read. It's a story of injustice, of redemption, of an individual putting their neck on the line to defend other people. And I can't remember whether Boo Radley was the father.
He was the next door neighbour.
Yeah, he was the next door neighbour. See, I always thought in To Kill a Mockingbird, the most outstanding kind person was the dad of the narrator, who was actually a lawyer who represented somebody who was black in that part of the world.
Yeah.
Who and supported him through an area of injustice. So I'll have to reread it, I think, Charlotte, because I don't actually remember that specific character. But if there's any listeners that do, please do let us know.
Next one, Dorothy Gale from The Wizard of Oz.
You know what? I didn't realise her surname was Gale, did you? And
It's actually quite ironic.
It works with the typhoon stuff, didn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, it would be better if she was called Dorothy Windy.
No.
Dorothy Blow. Okay, Dorothy Gale. Okay, so why do you think she's so kind?
Because she, right at the beginning, she like killed the witch, but she didn't.
Oh, that's kind.
Yeah, but she didn't know
Since when is murder kind?
She landed her house on top of the witch.
Oh, okay. It was an accidental manslaughter. Well, so since when has manslaughter been kind?
Since it was the wicked witch.
Oh, right, gotcha.
And she, like, even though she was wicked, she felt sorry for killing her, in a way. And then when she was on her way to get herself home, she stopped to help all these creatures. She had no idea. She'd never met them before. And she stopped to help them. She stopped to listen to their troubles, which I think makes her quite kind.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough. So I think the Wizard of Oz is full of stories of humanity, so that's fine.
Yes.
Who's next?
Mary Poppins!
Oh, good old Mary Poppins!
From drum roll please, Mary Poppins!
Mary Poppins from what film?
Mary Poppins!
And from what book?
Mary Poppins!
And who wrote Mary Poppins?
P.L. Travers?
She did. So Mary Poppins is an incredibly kind character, but not always in ways that you think, because she's quite stern as a character at times.
She is, but sometimes being cruel is kind.
Okay, so to be cruel to be kind is what we're saying. Who's your favourite character out of Mary Poppins that's not Mary Poppins?
I quite like the banker.
Dear, the dad.
Yeah.
Let's go fly a kite.
No, I like the bit at the beginning of the movie where Mary Poppins has to talk to him, and she says, "Do you think the Queen does the housework?" I just quite like that bit because that scene is also in an episode of Doctor Who.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay, fair enough. I quite like the suffragette wife.
Yes.
Yeah. So I like Mary Poppins. Mary Poppins is a classic film. What I'm not too keen on Charlotte and Mary Poppins, even though I love Dick Van Dyke, is his dodgy Cockney accent. I mean, we don't talk like that, do we, as Cockneys? It just doesn't. It just doesn't happen like that. God blimey, Mary Poppins. Anyway, what's next?
Bruno from The Boy in the Striped Pyjamas.
Oh. See, I've never read the book.
I have. We had to read.
You've read the book. So, what did you think of the book?
It was really good. It made me cry. But
who was Bruno? Was he the boy?
He was
son of the commandant. Yeah.
He was the German boy. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
He went every day to visit Small, I think it was his name.
Okay.
Because they were friends, even though he knew that he wasn't allowed to, he wasn't supposed to. His dad told him he wasn't supposed to go down there.
Okay.
His sister.
But he went every day.
Who went every day, talked to him, and he even, in the end, died because.
Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Too late because you've just spoiled it.
He even in the end died.
You know what? When I saw that, I haven't read the book, but when I saw that in the film, it was the right ending for the particular story. But it was such a powerful ending. That is a brilliant film. What's next?
Let's just have a look. There's Dumbledore popping up again.
Okay. Is that the end of the? Is that the end of the list?
Mary Poppins popping up. There's a couple of. There's more than one on the list. I may have put. Okay, Minerva McGonagall. So another Harry Potter one.
Okay. Can I share one? I think the book thief from the book thief is probably my most favourite.
Human.
Well, there's a few really interestingly written characters in the book thief.
Yeah.
But the book thief is probably my favourite kids book of all time.
Yep.
It's not really a kids book. It's more of a sort of teen to adult fiction book. Very, again, like all good literature, very sad, very human, very funny, very tragic, but most of all shows how even in places that aren't particularly kind, kindness can shine through. I absolutely love The Book Thief, and if you haven't read it, certainly pick that one up. So, any other characters from books that you think are particularly kind?
Miss Honey from Matilda.
Miss Honey from Matilda.
Yeah.
Tell me about her.
Like, basically, her aunt was the mean headmistress.
Yeah.
The
Trenchbull, wasn't it?
Trunchbull, yeah.
Trunchbull.
And she had to live with her aunt when she was younger, and she moved away, but she still worked at the school.
Okay.
And she somehow she met Matilda, and Matilda's parents were awful, and she sort of, at the end,
Awful of what? Like,
just they were awful.
oh, right, awful.
They treated her
I
like
thought you were going to say all full of like chocolate or.
They treated her like she wasn't there sometimes.
Okay.
And Miss Honey in the end ended up adopting Matilda. I think.
Oh, bless.
I love that kind of ending because obviously Matilda was a sweet child.
Yeah.
And she had everything taken away from her.
Yeah.
She had everything snatched from between her tiny fingers, and Miss Honey kind of took her in after everything that happened.
But the weird thing is, Roald Dahl appears a couple of times on that list.
Uh-huh.
And I bet the BFG. The BFG is quite kind. Yeah, the BFG is quite a kind
It's
character.
literally called the Big Friendly Giant.
That's absolutely right. He's big, he's friendly, he's giant. It's not the best names in the BFG because actually the not particularly pleasant giants get the good names. They get like Snodgecumber and Snodgecumber was the thing they ate, wasn't it? Like Bone Crusher and Blood Boiler and all that.
Blood Bottler.
Yeah, all that sort of stuff. So we think that Roald Dahl in children's fiction was the best at writing kind characters. Do you think that's because he always wrote really gruesome characters and they always offset against each other?
Yeah. I mean, he always put characters that weren't particularly kind to take care of the characters that
were. Yeah, there was always that sort of bad carers thing. I mean, James and Giant Peach is the same, isn't it?
Yeah.
And what was the one about the boy who did he poison his gran or something? What was that one?
Charlie's medicine or something.
Yeah. So
like his parents, they always left him with his nan.
Yeah.
And then he made this medicine because he didn't like her.
Yeah. Please don't make me any medicine like that, or Grandad, because I don't think he'd appreciate it. But yeah, so we think, listeners, that Roald Dahl is the best creator in children's fiction of kind characters.
He also makes mean characters too.
And one of the reasons that he makes such good kind characters is because they're always offsetting his literature with kind characters.
Mean characters.
Mean characters. Not kind characters and kind characters and mean characters. But we're interested in what you think. So who are the kindest characters in either children's or adult fiction? We look forward to hearing from you.